These are the Åsnes Amundsen Fram BC, which means backcountry waxless skis. And I've used them on my trip to the northern part of the Kungsleden, where I skied in the Arctic Circle for over 100 kilometers. So these are the skis of choice for many polar explorers, many South Pole expeditions, but also for the rental shop in Abisko, which means they're great for longer trips where you have a heavier load like I did with the Polk. Let's quickly look at some of the features of the skis. So they are waxless, which means you have this part here which provides you grip, and you get that grip when you ski and when you press with your foot on the ski. If you have skis that use wax, the wax is actually used for grip and not for glide. These skis can be used with skins, and we'll talk about that in a bit. They have steel edges, if you can see that here. And one thing to remember is they can be very, very sharp. I still have a scar here from holding on to the skis while going uphill. They are quite narrow, which is a good thing if you want to go over long distances. With that, they need to be longer. These are 208 centimeters, 196 centimeters. The binding that I used is the Rotofella manual binding. There are essentially three choices. There's the manual, there's the automatic, and there's the Magnum. The Magnum is just like the manual, but it is bigger and sturdier. If I had the choice, I would have chosen the Magnum probably. It just gives me some extra confidence in the binding. The binding essentially just gets screwed onto the skis, and they often do that for free in the shop when you buy them as a set. There's a screw inside here that you would need to loosen, and probably somewhere else as well, and then they can be removed. There is no left or right on these skis, although you do have a picture here, and that can help you to see which is left and which is right, but the skis are exactly the same, so it wouldn't matter. Now, how do you use the boot with them? You see this pin here, this goes right in here, and then you need to close it. And as you see, it's not going. Probably didn't insert the pin correctly. Yeah. This is one thing that I would really recommend if this is your first time using this. Try them out at home if you have the chance. Just put them on and take them off many times so you get very comfortable, because it can be a little bit tricky to put the boot in at the right angle in order to close the binding. And during my trip, sometimes it felt like 15 minutes, half an hour, that I've struggled to close this binding. The issue that I found that I actually had was that in this place here, a lot of snow and ice can accumulate. And then also in here, you can have a lot of ice and snow. It is then good to have something with you that you can use to remove that ice and snow from here. And the same could be done here. Although I ended up often just taking off my glove and removing it with my finger. That worked the best. Also, another thing, sometimes this isn't fully open. And this is now the perfect example. You would think that it is open. Let me just show you real quick. If you can see, it's not fully open in here. So you really need to push it, and that's how you get the boots in. I found the system to be a bit annoying at times. With the automatic, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I believe that you can always clip in the boot, but then if you want to remove the boot, you need to open it up. I think, would keep on using the manual, as I feel this is one less thing to worry about, one less thing that can be damaged, because it uses some sort of a spring system. So I wouldn't want to use something with additional points of potential failure. But again, no experience with the automatic. If you do have experience with that, let us all know in the comments. Good thing about this binding is that it is very simple, and it also goes up to size 52, which is very good for me. These boots are size 50. Another thing that worries me about this system, I mentioned this already in the video about these boots. If you haven't seen that, I'll link to that at the end of this video, is just having the one pin connecting you to the skis. So that works quite well. However, if this were to get damaged, if this pin breaks, then that's it. It's game over. I did bring some tie rips that I could wrap around the boot just in case something like this happened. Again, I don't know any issues specifically with this boot. I have seen videos of people breaking their pin on their backcountry boot. I don't know which brand it was. So these waxless skis, they have this fish scale here, but if you want more traction, then you can use something like this. These are skins. This is a set of 2. There's an opening here, and this is where you would attach it. And then you would use the adhesive part of the skin just to put it on. And when you're doing this with your hand, make sure to watch out for the steel edges. They're very, very sharp and they will cut your hand. So now you see the skin is attached, and this would provide you with some extra grip. This is a nylon fabric. I also have a second one, which is mohair. I still have the tape on it, so I haven't used them. There's a lot of debate on which is better. I don't know at this point. I took them both. I wanted to try them both out, but I only ended up using this one. So this is the short skin. But there's another one that I have, and that was really a game changer for me. So here I have full length skins. And this white stuff, this is just so that they're easily taken apart. Let me show you how this would look like. So this first top part, this goes on top of the ski, so like this. And then in a similar way, you would attach it over the full length of the skis. Now for me, this was a last minute purchase, but probably the best thing I could have brought with me. If you have a heavy pulk with you like I did and you need to go uphill, this is really the way to go. The downside of it is, of course, it limits your speed. So you will be going slower even on a flat traverse. But if you need to go downhill with a heavy pulk, this might be a good thing as well. So there are, of course, a lot of opinions on if you should use those skins or not. If you're a beginner like myself, don't listen to the Norwegians that have been skiing their whole life. Listen to someone like myself that has done it for the first time. And I'm telling you, those full-length skins are worth it. So in summary, quite happy with these. I haven't tried any other skis of this type, so I can't really compare them. For me, this is a whole new experience. Skiing on Nordic style backcountry skis is very, very difficult. After a few days, I felt I got better at it, but then you get surprised by icy patches where you almost fall on basically flat ground. So that's it for the skis, and go ahead and watch this video next to learn more about the rest of the gear that I brought with me.